What is happening, guys? Jay here, and I'm back with another Omocha review. This time, I have my first ever figure builder model under the creator model line of Capcom's Monster Hunter series. So, for those unaware, the creator model line is the biggest size for Monster Hunter statues of Capcom. And today, I have with me the arch tempered version of Nergigante. So, arch tempered version meaning there's another version of this, the original one, which I will show in comparison later on. But first, I want to show you guys the size of Nergigante. I mean, this thing is huge, and look at the base already, like the crystal here that you can see, the Elder's Recess base. It's really huge, and for comparison, I want to show you guys here. This is a marker. Again, I don't have any other figure builder. I will have Valstrax coming soon, so I'll show you guys the comparison for that. But over here, you can see the marker over there, and then right now, I have with me my Nintendo Switch without the Joy Cons. But yeah, this is the screen size of the original Switch version. As you can see, it just really towers over a lot of things. It is one huge statue, and it's one of the biggest when I checked among the line of Capcom's creator model for Monster Hunter. But besides the size of Nergigante, this thing also packs a lot of detail, and that's one thing you can get from all of the statues consistently from this line of Capcom's statues. So I want to show you guys here real quick. Look at here's the base. So as you can see, there's the Capcom trademark right there, and I am not sure if there are a fake or bootlegs of this. Just be wary of them. But yeah, here's the box of Nergigante. As you can see, it's a pretty straightforward box and really nice to collect as well. Nice to keep. And yeah, as you can see here, I am rotating Nergigante right now. One of the things that pops out among with Nergigante in comparison to the others is the paint job. I will show you guys up close photos of this later on. But seriously, look at it under the bright lights. I have really bright lights right now just to showcase how shiny it is. When this was marketed for pre-order, people or the Capcom said that it comes with a chromatic finish, and they're not kidding with that finish because later on I will show you guys up close photos of it. But the spikes of Nergigante and also those gold touches, all of them are very chromatic when you observe them under the light. In fact, they're so chromatic they kind of change color. As you can see when I twist them, it looks black on one end, looks gold here, and then when you sort of move it around, it kind of turns into a little bluish thing, also with the Elder's Recess. Now, as you can see, I'm tapping Nergigante right now. I just want to show you guys, it's not the most stable figure. Like, it's kind of top heavy because of how huge Nergigante's wings are. So I think the base isn't that really secure, but it works as long as you plant it really flatly on a nice shelf or a nice desk. Really, really works. Now, before I go on and discuss all the nitty gritty details of Nergigante, I want to talk about first the original one so you guys can understand what's the difference between the original Nergigante versus this arch tempered one over here. Now, here is the original design of Nergigante, both in the video game and the very first statue that was released by Capcom. So, as you can see, the spikes and the horns of Nergigante, also his teeth here, are really white. And besides it being white, it doesn't have any sort of chrome finish or any shiny touch to it. It's kind of matte. And this is just the marketing photo, but I also took a video of this last year when I went to Kotobukiya in Japan, in Akihabara. So here is the display in Japan over here. As you can see, the spikes of Nergigante here has a lot more color contrast simply because Nergigante here is black, and then of course the spikes, the horns are all really nice and white. And also his inner flesh is different because as you can see here right now, the whiteness of the spikes has been turned into sort of bluish chrome again, and then the horns are turned into a more golden finish. But also the interior, the sort of belly of Nergigante has a more prominent purple and gold as well. So there's that. There's the main difference. Size wise, it's mostly the same, so there's no difference at all. It's really the gold touch, the chrome blue, and also the more prominent purple for Nergigante's overall body. For the Elder's Recess, I think it's mostly the same. So there's that. Something to keep in mind if you're deciding which to go for. Honestly, for me, I prefer the arch tempered version simply because I'm a sucker for really shiny things. So there's that. Something to keep in mind. But if you like the color contrast more, one perk for the regular one is that Nergigante there has a lot more. It pops out easily when you don't have good lighting, because even if you don't have good lighting, the color contrast again between the spikes being white versus the black color of Nergigante, it pops out better compared to the chrome finish that makes Nergigante look really black if you don't have good lighting. But if you have good solid lighting, this thing will really really pop, especially if you put it on a rotating base where the colors will really shine. It's really amazing. Okay, now that we've compared the two, now what's left for the video is that I will dissect each and every part of Nergigante as best as I could and show you guys the amazing details via photos. Now you gotta remember here, disclaimer, these photos are not they don't have any filter and they're only taken by a Samsung phone. They're not particularly taken by any strong DSLR camera or anything like that. But as you can see, despite the quality, despite my phone, despite the lack of filters, it really just pops out. Like, look at the claws here, the spikes on his arms, and also look at the attention to detail here for the wings. So even if you can't see the inside of the wings that well, even then, the detail, the paint quality is really consistent even in the inner part of the wings. As you can see, if you try to really zoom in there and really focus your camera, you will see all those nitty-gritty details that you will see on a dragon's wing. So like the spine, the sort of scaliness of Nergigante, it's evident there, and it's just super, super good. Now, speaking of wings, let's go to the outer part of the wings, which I think is the main, really the main attraction of this statue. Now, the backside of Nergigante, in my opinion, particularly the wings, is a big reason why I think anyone getting this statue should invest in a rotating base, which I will as soon as I can order one, because you really want to show off this sort of 360 view of Nergigante. So his everything here, everything about the statue just really rocks. Just the entire 360 view, as you can see here, the claws. Just attention to the detail here, guys. I want to show you guys the claws here a bit. Look at how the claws are planted on the crystal. How there's these sort of cracks that Nergigante is really, really gripping on that crystal. And it just shows how dynamic the statue is. Because when you're making a statue as opposed to a action figure, you really have to invest in the entire design because it's one static piece. Next up are these spikes on Nergigante's back, and I think this photo really represents how nice and scaly the effect of the chrome is to Nergigante. How there's a lot of layers to Nergigante, which really, really shows that he's this evil, sinister elder dragon that's really out to ruin, to bring ruin to things. Of course, the scaliest or the spikiest part, if you will, are these spikes over here by the wings of Nergigante. So this is the where the spikes really get really dense and really clump together. Now, one thing to take note of, these spikes are not super hard, so which is kind of a good thing because it kind of makes it a little safer to handle. But at the same time, because it's not super hard, this thing is prone to cracking. Maybe I've actually seen a few reviews on Amazon.com that there were shipping problems where one of the longer spikes got cracked. So there's that, something to consider. And then over here, his tail, and again, the spikes, all these beautiful spikes. Again, there's not much color contrast compared to the original one. The spikes of the original tail had those white matte spikes. But this one, as you can see, under really bright lights, it really just shines and so good, especially if you like shiny things. But yeah, I just can't stop raving about this because it's my first creator figure model, and it turns out to be one of the best, of course. It's a big reason why I got into the line because when I saw this really available in stock in that shop where I bought it, it was just super super good. As you can see here, several layers of the crystal where Nergigante is standing on. So it really just captures the vibe that you get, the horror, the sinister atmosphere that Nergigante brings to the table in the game. And then over here, look at his hind legs. Really, there's that super strong gold color to it. And then, of course, his spine. Look at how scaly that is and how well it reflects light. Just really, really great figure all around. Really aesthetic design for Nergigante for this arch-tempered version. And now over here, I just want to show again another angle for the wings. This one really covers his face. This angle over here. And then here's more up-close shots of Nergigante's face over there. And yeah, as you can see, there are many ways to display it, or many ways to look at it, many ways to take photos of Nergigante. It's a really, really great piece to really take photos of, especially if you've got good backdrops and all that. But yeah, so I've shown you guys up close shots of most of his body parts. What's left, of course, is his face. And as you can see, here is the Nergigante statue. up close with in this on this angle, and as you can see, even the chest and the belly of Nergigante, there's just so much attention to detail there. There's that nice mold for the scaly effect. Really shows how rugged this creature is. That he's really, really out. He's not a majestic creature like, say, Mizutsune, for example. He's really like a dragon who's out to kill. Look at the teeth of Nergigante, the eyes. So even the face, the tongue, the teeth, the jaw, and of course those horns. Look at those sort of black lines there. It just really shows how alive this thing is. The statue, if I could describe it again, it really feels alive and straight out of the video game. Now, one small nitpick on my end is that when you display this statue on a lower area of your shelf, maybe you won't really get to see Nergigante's expression because he's sort of like really he's like bowing down there, so you won't get to see his face that well. So as a recommendation, it's nice to display this on the upper part of your shelf just for you to really enjoy his expression. And then over here you have his crystal base, so really great attention to the base as well. It's more on the purpley grayish side for the crystal base. So, but I really like all these sort of weathering effects as well. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this review. I will get Valstrax coming soon, the same line here for Nergigante, who would be my second one, and I will show you guys more of a size comparison between him and Nergigante as well. So also, I'll have some Zinogre. I'll have Zinogre coming soon from the SH Monster Arts line. So there's that, and also Fatalis, the giant Fatalis. I ordered that as well. So if you like Monster Hunter, subscribe and stay tuned. Once again, this is Jay, and till next time, goodbye.